GMs and the upper, you know what I'm saying, the administrative crew. They're putting something together nice down there. And it's going to be okay in the next couple of years, but not yet. Cam Newton, and like he said again, I got on Benny about this the other day when we were doing our picks. Matter of fact, like, y'all gonna quit talking bad about New England like it ain't still New England, right? Like, and then Cam Newton just kind of gives them. I think Cam just really solidified that they're gonna have a decent year because early it ain't gonna be the system. It's gonna be Cam making plays with his legs, getting those first downs. Once he gets comfortable in that system, it's probably gonna take him about 4 games. I mean, he gonna start digging and dumping. You know, we know how Daniels do. You know what I'm saying? The same thing that made Tom Brady famous.
Right.
Right. And you're talking about a guy with a stronger arm and a guy that got that pocket move and extend plays with his legs. Come on, man. Then the defense, we got Belichick's defense, which is gonna be what they're gonna be. Yeah, New England gonna shock a whole lot of people, but they really gonna dog walk Miami. That's
Yeah, Miami don't do too well when it comes to the New England Patriots. Miami doesn't do too well when it comes to Bill Belichick. That's basically what it means.
Well, unless they're in Miami.
Yeah, over the last few years they got a couple of lucky ones in there with that when Drake was there, they got that lucky last one. But I mean, Miami's getting better, and the whole question is going to come down to when do you see the rookie in Miami? Is Fitzpatrick going to come out with Fitz magic the first 5 games like he does every year? The first 5 games look real good, and then fade away, and then now the rookie has to come in there. So I'm looking forward to seeing the rookie get in there for them to start building for their next time. But yeah, the Patriots will win this game because Cam Newton is more than capable of throwing 5 to 7 yard passes all day. So
right.
Yeah. So again, it is the neutral zone. So I got Casual E, I got JB, and I got Ed Easy Smith. So let's transition to this part of the show that we spend a little bit more time on. It is the Arizona Cardinals portion of the show. And so Arizona is going to be facing San Francisco. One of the things that Ed and I talked about a little bit earlier when we were recording, I believe, on the Arizona Cardinals podcast, is that it's an besides COVID-19, it's burning in California, literally and figuratively, especially up in the Bay Area. And so there's those things kind of going into it. We know that the expectation coming off with the 49ers coming off of their Super Bowl run, getting to the Super Bowl, obviously falling short. Everybody seems that they were ready to throw dirt on the grave of Jimmy Garoppolo. We know that some of their wide receivers are injured. We know that they love to run the ball, all those different things. And of course, we have Kyler Murray on this side and a wide receiver that is has some accolades, DeAndre Hopkins. So wanted to get your thoughts on this game, and I'll pepper you with some questions as we go through. But let's start with you, Casual E. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on this game? And I know when you joined us on Believe in the Arizona Cardinals podcast last week, you were kind of hating on me and my partner Ed because we don't believe in the Cardinals.
Yeah, y'all don't believe, man.
But give us some thoughts on what you think about this Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers game this week.
A game that's prime for upset. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and hit that. That's my upset for this week.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Upset alert.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Upset alert.
$2 cash.
$2 cash. Yeah, so yeah, that's my upset for this week.
And then real quick, it's the 49ers -7 on this game, just so you all know.
Okay, hey, I like it. Hey, one thing I want to say, because I know we short with time, so the thing I'm going to say, I was coming in this game saying, stop the run, and force Jimmy G to beat you. But then I looked at those 2 old tapes last year, and I thought about it. I saw it on tape. Jimmy did beat us both those games last year. He beat us. It wasn't the running game that beat us.
No, correction.
Jimmy at the last minute in those games.
Kittles beat us.
Yeah, but Jimmy's throwing that rock, and Jimmy beat us with Emmanuel Sanders, and he beat us with Kittle. And so I'm saying, look, if we can get some the cover guys to cover those receivers, and then of course he's without Emmanuel Sanders now, and then you stop that run the way they stopped it last year, this would be upset in the making.
Okay, what you got, JB?
I don't think it's an upset. I think we should be the favorites, to be completely honest with you.
Wow.
You're looking at a second-year offense, right?
Okay.
That produced last year, right? We didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. Fitz is going to do what Fitz do. Christian Kirk got another year under his belt, right? We got King and Drake back, right? So what's going to happen is this in football, right? Football 101. We got all these guys that can push the ball down the field vertically, right?
Right.
So that means you got to play a cover two. You got to drop back in a bunch of cloud. And if you dare play man, all we're gonna do is get the ball to King and Drake in the open field. He's gonna make everybody look stupid, right? And then don't mention the fact that we got little Mario and Luigi back there taking off, you know what I'm saying, to get first down whenever he needs to. On to the defensive side. On to the defensive side of the ball. We focus on D-line, right? We made it a priority. We brought in the kid from Buffalo, right? Corey Peters is healthy, right? I think we got Gundy, right? He's a big part backup, you know what I'm saying? We brought in DK3, right? We still got Chandler Jones. We got guys that are going to get after the quarterback. Our linebacker core drafted a good one now. I think he's the second coming to Carlos Dansby. And our defensive backfield is finally healthy and has a year under their belt. Pat P is back on a hell mission, all right?
Absolutely.
Don't dare throw the ball that man's way or it's going back the other way. I'm telling you what's going to happen this year. So with the fact that Emmanuel Sanders is not there, right, who was Jimmy G's base scapegoat.
Okay.
All right. And now we have this big old this big old long linebacker, right?
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
young, got them young legs, right? Who's going to be able to cover Kittles. I'm telling you, this game potentially could get ugly.
Ooh, okay. Ed Smith, because I'm going to come back to you in a second, JB, but go ahead. Ed Smith, what you got?
I love the way y'all thinking. Y'all going to make this year real easy on me. I love the enthusiasm. I love the spirit. I'm looking at an NFC champion San Francisco 49er team, and I know they minus a couple pieces and stuff like that, but once again, without an offseason, and I know the Cardinals, they played really well at the end of the season, and we talked about this all through the summer. I think a team like the Cardinals was hurt the most by this coronavirus because they didn't have an opportunity to build on and stay around each other, and the coaching staff getting the ears. And so they're starting from scratch, but they're starting from a minus scratch because, like I said, they're young and they're trying to put it together. A team like San Francisco, and Jeremy, you know this too, Jay and I talked earlier about the Super Bowl hangover because the San Francisco, they went into this COVID lockdown. Them boys got some extra rest, just like everybody else got to get away from it. And I think with the Super Bowl hangover, normally it's because your offseason is so shortened and you're right back into it. These dudes had a chance to sit around like everybody else. And I just think the talent and the coaching of
Kyle Shanahan
versus Cliff Kingsbury will prove to be like one of the deciding factors.
And I'm glad you just said that, Ed. I'm glad you just said that, all right? Because your boy Shanahan, first of all, he done blew it twice, all right? So it comes to a point where the late great Denny Green said they were who we thought they were.
Where'd they blow it though, Jeremy?
Shanahan is who we know he is, right? So him and McVay are kind of two of the same people, right? They done got figured out. You're going to see how bad the Rams going to be again this year because McVay, all he knows is 5 plays, right, and 13 formations. And Shanahan, all he knows is 5 plays and 14 formations, right, which ain't going to beat nobody twice. Like, these defensive coordinators are too smart, right? So you keep on trying to put Juszczyk in motion, who's hurt, by the way, right now, so he might not even play, right? You put Juszczyk in motion, and we figure out that that's where the ball's going? All right, cool, right? But he ain't got Emmanuel Sanders to save him this year. I'm telling you, Garoppolo ain't got his scapegoat.
I'll let this one play out. Go ahead.
Can I raise my hand, teacher?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Ed, I'm going to have to rebut you, too, on this. When you talk about struggling through COVID-19, all the teams that don't have an offense that was already in place the year before are going to struggle. The teams that have already had an offense that have started to get cohesion together are going to be fine because they've played in that system a full season. And then you got a quarterback that's already knew that offense to begin with, and it was too fast for him last year. Now it's slowed down for him. He knows exactly what they are running. And I think the offense will outdo the defense because of that fact. They know each other. They know this. They know that the offense is going to shine on Sunday because they know this offense in and out. The only one caveat to that is that they have to add that superstar to it, and that's not that hard to do. So I think they're going to be fine. Like JB said, this could get ugly. It could be a high-scoring game for the Cardinal
Why
offense.
Ed looking all smug over there?
I love the enthusiasm. I'm just gonna wait till
He's not a
next
believer.
week. I mean,
He's not a believer. He
Yeah,
should
you
not
can't
be on the
have-
podcast if he believes
No,
in
you
God.
cannot
Like,
have you cannot have the title "Believe the Cardinals podcast" and you don't believe.
Right, that's what I said. Right?
Come
You
on,
should not
man.
be on that podcast, bro.
Come on, man.
Real quick, before we get on to the next segment, I got to ask you this, JB, because one of the things that Ed and I talked about today for the Believe in the Arizona Cardinals podcast was the fact that because there'll be so much attention paid to Larry Fitzgerald and DeAndre Hopkins that it may give opportunities for Christian Kirk. What are your thoughts when it comes to that? That this season as a whole may be an opportunity for Christian Kirk to really take that next step.
If you listen to JB and Benefit Review, I've already said it. Right, Christian Kirk is about to have a breakout year, right? Because he takes the top off of everything. Right now, DeAndre Hopkins takes the top off too, but see, he's going to be bracketed, right? So you got to single cover somebody, right? Here's the thing about last year that is going to be different than this year. Little man knows that he has number 11. Well, last year, he didn't trust number 11 like that because, like Earl said, the offense was moving real fast for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's accustomed to throwing the ball down the field, chunking it big time, when number 11 is just sitting there like, just throw the ball to me and we'll get a first down, right? So he now knows that. He got number 11, who's going to be a possession receiver because he's old as hell, all right? That's just what he is. Now, he takes great care of himself, but he ain't going to be running no routes down the field. Fitz is going to be like every great receiver that's ever played this game.
Right.
He's going to be a possession receiver. He's going to have about 100 catches again this year for like right at 1,000 yards. And Little Man knows now that that's who I can get the
Little
ball
man.
to. That's what I call him, Little Man. He knows now that I can get the ball to Fitz, and we can keep these chains moving. And everything else is going to open up. Now, number 13, that boy going to be streaking down that sideline a whole lot. And he young legs. And that Little Man going to throw the ball to him, and it's going to be some big-time connections. And the fact that we don't take him over the top, then that's going to move that safety over to the other cat over there, number 10. Come on, man. Like, it's going to be a huge chess match.
And one other quick thing.
Defense we face, power play. You know what I'm saying?
One other quick thing to add to that. That guy that's going to be on Fitzgerald will be the second team guy, the second corner or second or third corner on him. He's going to eat that guy alive every single game.
On a nickel, right?
Yeah.
So
every
right
game.
Right there, Earl. So he'll either be the nickel, the third corner, or he's going to be the outside linebacker.
Absolutely.
On Fitz? Come on, man.
Exactly.
He's going to be like this.
Y'all ever seen a
guys,
movie?
real quick before y'all go to commercial break, I got to go. I'm at work. I just want to hop on real quick. I appreciate it.
My brother.
Man.
That's what's up.
I appreciate everything. Love you guys to death. I'll be on board.
Yeah.
All right, man. Catch you next time.
Believe in the cross.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Man, that's what's up. That is what's up. So this is why we do. Yeah, we have fun. It's almost, I call it barbershop talk. I'm very fortunate with a lot of the podcasts and the shows that I do to be able to chop it up with folks that I consider friends and family. And this it makes it
Yeah,
fun.
no, I appreciate the enthusiasm I'm seeing from the other side. We'll see next week. Might be singing a different tune.
Ed's that dad to come in the room and calm everything down. Stop all that noise in here. Stop all that.
Indeed. Oh, real quick before we go on to talk about the Jets and the Buffalo Bills,
Okay.
I wanted to get your thoughts, Earl, because Ed and I talked a little bit about this. Were you surprised that Isaiah Simmons is not starting? So he is, he's on the second string right now in terms of the depth chart. So were you surprised about that?
No.
And does that bring about any concern?
It does to a point because, again, and this is a COVID-19 world and it's a COVID-19 season, and you cannot expect that rookie to come in here and get thrown in that deep of a fire and start against that team, that tight end, and expect him not to have some issues. So they have to work this kid in. I think that was a good idea for them not to start him. Somebody has to have some experience somewhere and then work him in gradually. I think that's what they needed to do, and I think it was a smart move.
Indeed. So let's move on to the Jets at the Buffalo Bills, and from time to time, as we really get into the groove of this thing, I'll be throwing out. I think you got this new $2 sounder and all this type of
It's
stuff.
already got
So
$2 in the pot already.
I'll be throwing out maybe some of these little lines here to kind of get an idea, kind of where this stuff is at.
Okay.
So Buffalo, I want to say, what do we got? Buffalo is -6 right now, when in terms of the Jets at the Buffalo Bills. So the Jets, we know that people are really hesitant to jump on Darnold. A lot of people are bullish on Darnold, but we'll see if he takes that leap to really give people even more confidence in him. But Buffalo, based upon the season that they had last year, strong and solid defense. Let's talk about what your thoughts on them are. So let's go with you, Casually. What you got on the Jets at the Buffalo Bills?
Well, the Jets are coming in this game feeling like they just been disrespected. They think they've been disrespected. It was in the reports, in the New York report, that they feel like they're getting slighted because of what they were last year. So they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder and try to show the Bills up. But the Bills' defense is just too much in this game for them. Darnold's taking another step forward. We know that's all good, but this defense is just outstanding. I don't know how you get past this secondary. Period. The two best safety guys in Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, and then of course they got that corner that's the lockup guy. Who's the lockup guy? I forgot his name. Tre'Davious White. That dude locks you up. So I don't see how Darnold's going to get anything in the passing game going, and he's got a new weapon over there. A little, what's that kid's name from Tampa Bay? Perryman. And so we're going to see if he can get the ball deep. But with that guy locking up out there with Tre'Davious White, I don't see the Jets doing anything and moving the ball in this game. It's going to be a Lev Bell turn around and hand it to that dude about 30 times and try to see if he can get back on track.
Okay, what you got, Ed?
Yeah, I like Buffalo in this game, particularly because of their defense. And I think this is the year that Adam Gase finally gets exposed for not being the best head coach out there.
Oh.
And, like I said, between Buffalo's defense, and if they can do anything on the ground, and then, the addition of Stephon Diggs in that offense, this should be a pretty thorough behind whipping by Buffalo up there in Orchard Park.
Okay, so let's transfer over to Cleveland at Baltimore. Last year around this time, the Browns were that pick, and I knew what they were the media was setting them up for a fall, because trying to choose them just because of the bravado of their starting quarterback. But with Baltimore, we know that their starting quarterback, if he gets through another season and excels in terms of putting up numbers, but doesn't get out of the first round of the playoffs, whenever their round of the playoffs, whether they get a bye or not, that the pressure will become even more immense. But we know that Baltimore is known for their defense. We also know that it's curious as to whether or not they'll be able to go in terms of offensively with the quarterback. Will he regress, or will he continue to take steps forward? And then Cleveland, will they be able to try to settle into those expectations? So, Ed, what you got on this one?
In my opinion, Baltimore is going to be the hungriest team in the NFL this year after the way they got bounced out of the playoffs last year. The entire organization, including Lamar Jackson, has a chip on the shoulder, and this is going to be right out of the box a prove-it game for them. Cleveland, a lot of hype, a lot of weapons. You look up there and down their roster, they're as talented as anybody. The only thing that's been holding them back the last couple of years were two things for me: head coach and starting quarterback. And if they can ever figure that out, they're going to get themselves out of trouble, or out of the Cleveland way, if you want to call it that. But right now, first game of the season, Baltimore, after the nasty taste they got in their mouth, I think they'll come out and put it on them, and it might not even be close, in my opinion.
We got Sean ended up choosing Baltimore in this Cleveland and Baltimore matchup. What you got, Casually?
Yeah, I'm going to take Baltimore too, but I am concerned about this Baltimore offense, and only from the simple fact is, how long are they going to continue to run Lamar like a running back and let that guy? He's going to eventually start to break down, taking all these hits and all the tackles and all the big hits and those type of things. Eventually, that's going to start to break down. You have to start to rely on him staying in the pocket and throwing the ball like a conventional quarterback. Can he do that? And I don't know if they can get back. I don't know if they can get back to where they were last year. I don't think they can. I don't know if they can. I should say because sometimes quarterbacks do regress, and weapons wise, he's got enough weapons. He's got enough talent on the team. But I think Lamar Jackson is got to concentrate more on being a pocket passer and staying in the pocket. But it's his coach that has him in this offense that he wants him to actually run the ball. So that's how they do things. But they're gonna win this game. It's gonna be one of those divisional matchups that can go either way because Cleveland does have a lot of weapons, but Cleveland just hasn't put it all together yet. But Baltimore will win this one. I'm just concerned about Lamar Jackson going forward, man. He's taking a lot of hits running that ball, man.
That's why he might not be that next in line for that super big contract. We'll see how that goes because they're gonna try to
stay on the field, man.
Use that brother.
I also want to see my boy Calais Campbell on the Baltimore Ravens this year.
Yeah, you want to see Calais Campbell on the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
So let's go. Green Bay at Minnesota. Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers. So you get your heir apparent is drafted right in front of you, and they saying act like it's all cool, and Aaron Rodgers wasn't acting like it was all cool. But so we got Minnesota. We know that with their quarterback, that the expectations there, the mounting expectation when you sign that big contract, there are all sorts of expectations that come along with it, and so both of these teams they're expected to go so far within the season. So your thoughts on this game? Let's start with you, Casual E, with Green Bay at Minnesota.
Everything is going back to the draft in this one. You didn't get Rodgers another weapon, and this is what the whole season is going to come down to. Because guess what? Adams is going to get doubled all day long, and can another receiver emerge to take some of that pressure off him? If you can lock him up and take away his number one security blanket, you got that passing game shut down. So can the Vikings do it? Because they always have trouble with the Packers. It doesn't matter when and where they playing or who they on either team. But for the Vikings, it's only one recipe: hand it to Dalvin Cook and get out the way. Because what that does is Dalvin Cook is the best outside runner. All his big runs come on the outside on the edge. And you know what that sets up for the Vikings? It sets up Kirk Cousins in that bootleg around the other side to throw it deep. That's what's going to set it up for. So if they can get that going, Dalvin Cook is going to be the key to this game. But I still like the Packers in this one because Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers.
And then Sean ended up taking Minnesota in this one. In full disclosure, the tight end on the Minnesota Vikings is related to big watermelon head over there on the other side.
And he on my fantasy team,
Ed
too.
Smith.
He on my fantasy team.
So, and we still need to get him on the show so I can try to bend his ear and try to say, don't talk to your uncle, talk to your partner, Jay Love in the building. But anyway, Ed Easy Smith, what you got in this one with Green Bay at Minnesota?
No bias in this one. I'm going with Minnesota, though. And I think this is, in my opinion, this game is the most 50-50 game of the week. This one is in division, could go either way. I do like Minnesota because of their ground game. Normally, I would say, you know me, Jay and Earl, this one's in Minnesota in the Dome, so you got without that home
throw all
field,
that out.
Right.
Throw
it all out. But
Yeah.
I do go with, just like you said, Earl, they didn't go out and get an additional weapons for Rodgers. And I'm not saying that's going to cost them this week, but at some point, this is really going to get them down the road. But I just think Minnesota's a more balanced attack, even though I give the edge to quarterback Rodgers. But with all you're asking Cousins to do is just enough and don't F it up.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, but their receiving core is almost the same as the Packers. They got one number one guy and a bunch of little, and one good rookie.
I will say this much: my nephew's a weapon, bro.
Oh hell yeah! I'm talking about for a receiver. The receivers, they only got one number one receiver, and then of course that rookie they got out of LSU gonna be something good. Jefferson, that dude's gonna look pretty damn. He looks pretty good. But I got your boy on my fantasy team for sure.
So I got to ask this: so if a game is -2.5, it's essentially a push, right? Would you guys say that? -2.5, essentially a push.
Basically,
that's what it kind of is when we're looking at Tennessee at Denver with the Monday night game. So the Tennessee Titans, they came off of a decent playoff run. Denver, their expectations for Denver based upon how their quarterback ended up playing towards the tail end of the season. So your thoughts on this one? I'm not sure how high I am on Denver, or really how high I am on Tennessee being able to duplicate what they did last season in terms of, especially from the running back position, because they handed the ball off to Henry so many times.
Oh, yeah.
But your thoughts on this? Let's go with you first, Casual E.
Yeah, they're going to do what they do. They're going to rely on that dude in the backfield, period. And everybody knows it's coming, but it ain't about knowing it's coming. It's about stopping it. And nobody's been able to do that. Everybody knew last year that in playoff games he was going to get the ball that many times, and nobody could stop it. So why would you change that? I mean, you paid him already, so now he's gonna be your workhorse. And I think that's what they're gonna use him all season long. The thing about the Broncos is, first of all, I don't understand how this team got on Monday night, first of all. Second of all, Von Miller may be out for the season. And so
Right.
so now the Broncos have no pass rush at all. And that quarterback, I don't believe in the quarterback. Everybody said that he shined last year, but how much did he shine? I mean, I don't know. I just don't believe he's going to be the guy for that team going forward. They're going to struggle all season long.
What you got, Ed?
I'm right there with Earl. Von Miller being down, the ground game of Tennessee coming in there, and then as far as quarterback from the Denver Broncos side, I know they're, everybody likes to jump on the wagon of look how they finished last season, and I was reminding everybody that was last season.
Exactly.
And this is a fresh start. Some of those games last year really didn't mean anything. So if he shined, nice, but this game right here with the ground attack, and this is another one. All you're asking your boy to do is come in, a quarterback for Tennessee. What's his name? Tannehill. Don't F it up.
Right.
So just hand the ball off. We'll ask you to throw it 15, 20 times, and we're good. We'll get out of there with a win.
Interesting. So this one, again, using some of the betting lines just as a means of conversation point, is that this one is -3 for the Dallas Cowboys, and this is the Dallas at the Rams on the Sunday night game. And this is interesting because you would think that with all of the upheaval in terms of with what happened with the Los Angeles Rams, that maybe the Cowboys would come in with a little bit more juice, for lack of a better word. But so we know that the expectations for the Cowboys, for Cowboys Nation and all that stuff, they always wanting a Super Bowl, but they haven't been there in quite a long time. And with the Rams, again, with trying to almost rebuild on the go. So your thoughts on this one? Let's go with you first, Ed.
Yeah, Dallas is, for whatever reason, and maybe it's because they're America's team and you got Jones as the owner. Everybody loves to put shine on them all the time. And if you think about it, they've been a mediocre franchise for so long. Last title was in the early 90s, but yet they still get all the love. And I just don't see it. I see an average team in an average division. When it all comes down, it'll be Philly and Dallas battling it out.
Again.
Giants and that Washington football team, you can't even count them. But if that's what you're fighting for in that mediocre division, and it still takes all the effort you have to win it,
good point.
To me, that doesn't bide well when you're going into those other divisions and hostile territories. And we know it's not hostile now because of the fans, but just better organizations. And even though the Rams are down right now, we forget they were just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Right.
So it's like, okay, if they went 9-7 and that's a down, I just think Dallas is really overhyped. I will say this, and this is probably a side note. If I'm Dak Prescott right now, and you just see what Mahomes got paid, you see what Watson got paid, and you still got to put on the happy face like, well, I'm a Cowboy, and I'm going to go out there and prove myself. Man, I would be so pissed off. I might take one of my checks and piss on it just to,
wow.
Seriously, I know he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder, but I just don't see Dallas as being that talented where they're going to just roll through everything. I see I'm picking the Rams in this game, long and short.
Yeah, you would think coming in looking at this game on paper, you would think that this would be Rams offense going up and down the field on this Cowboys defense, because last year, of course, Cowboys gave up the highest completion percentage to receivers, and the Rams got them going all over the place. The receivers, that Cooper Kupp is back to healthy. That tight end Tyler Higbee and Woods, of course, are going to be running all over the place. But then there's one thing that caught my eye about this whole thing. There's pressure and golf don't go together. And and the Cowboys got some guys that can get some pressure. Even though they lost Jerry McCord, they fill that spot with my man Jefferson Griffin. And they're allowing Aldon Smith to come back. And then DeMarcus Lawrence had a bad year, only 5 sacks last year, looking like he want to get back to where he was. So they're going to have a hell of a pass rush. And if you can get a hell of a pass rush on golf, you got them. So I'm going to go with Dallas in this game just because of the pass rush.
Okay, so let's go into Pittsburgh at the Giants. The Giants, they have a new coach, and it's interesting some of his coaching methods. We'll see if they deem him to be corny or deem him to be effective. But Pittsburgh at the Giants, it's a Monday night game. Let's go with you, Ed.
Yeah, this is, Pittsburgh franchise. I mean, their history. Get Ben back. The only thing I'm worried about is the rust of Ben, but he's had an awful long time to be off and rehab. And that's what I'm thinking, as long as he took care of his body and self during the offseason, he'll be fine. If this injury happened at the end of last season instead of the first part of last season where he had the entire season plus all this time, I'd be a little more worried. But this is, two great names as far as franchises, but one seems to be going one way, and the other, Pittsburgh, they had a down year last year, but even with that being said, almost got into the playoffs. This is Daniel Jones taking a little bit of a beating. Pittsburgh winning this one on the road.
What you got, E?
I didn't even have anything written down for this game, and because I saw it as two teams trying to get back to, like Ed said, where they're usually winning organizations. They both want to get back to that, and it's a building process. But for the Giants, but then Pittsburgh, all they needed was that one quarterback piece that was missing, and Ben Roethlisberger getting back. Well, how is he going to be getting back after being out for so long? He said himself he was already nervous coming into this season. So, we got to see how Ben's going to react and how that team's going to look. But I got Pittsburgh in this one because I don't trust in the second-year quarterback.
It's all about Mason Rudolph. Anyway, so this is going to be the quick fire round. So let's go with the Chargers.
Just as a quick reminder, you skipped over Seattle and Atlanta.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. You did.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You
Let's
did that
go
before
back.
before the Cardinals.
Thank you so much. Seattle at Atlanta. So Seattle, one of the things that as everything crumbles around Seattle in terms of with the defense, the way not being what it once was, everybody always says, but they got Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So your thoughts on Seattle at Atlanta and Atlanta, they really can't just get it to curl right. So your thoughts on Seattle at Atlanta, we'll go with you, Casual E.
Yeah, coming into this whole season, my whole excitement was watching all the players on their new teams. And this is one game that has it that I'm looking at. I want to see what Gurley's going to look like, and I want to see what Jamal Adams is going to bring to that defense in Seattle. So that's what I'm looking at. The game is going to be another high-scoring game. These two teams get together. They just go up and down the field on each other because can't nobody stop nobody. And Wilson is always the X factor at the end. You give him the ball last, he's going to beat you. So it's going to look like that type of game again. So it's going to be the Seahawks, unfortunately.
What you got, Ed?
Yeah, Atlanta just can't get out their own way. The Jerry Curl, the activator boy, they just, they what was that movie with Robert Townsend?
Hollywood Shuffle.
Hollywood Shuffle, yeah. I mean, that ball of activator boy, they need it bad. And they just never find it. So I'm going to Seattle.
I think, and on a quick side note, I think it's funny because I think Seattle, even though that we know that Russell Wilson is paid, but they take him for granted as if, it don't matter what we got, Russell will take care of it. Mm-hmm. And I think, and I mentioned this about a month or so ago, maybe on Believe in the Arizona Cardinals. I said, man, I just wonder if every time the ball is hiked, Russell Wilson is ready to scramble and run to be able to try to find some space, that those times when he doesn't have to run, he's shell shocked. I got to run anyway because he's just so used to running because that offensive line is always makeshift. So Chargers at Cincinnati. We got Tyrod Taylor that is a placeholder right now until they feel so comfortable for their number one draft pick to be able to be eased into that spot. And we know that Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, he's gonna be taking a lot of blows. So your thoughts on this Chargers at Cincinnati? We'll go with you, Casual E.
Oh, this would be the Chargers because they do have somewhat of a veteran quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over much. He's a game manager. He's going to manage that game. He's not going to turn it over. And, of course, Burrow on the other side, it's going to be too fast for him. He's a rookie. What else do you expect? So Tyrod Taylor is going to be in there, in my opinion, all year long. I don't think we see the rookie this year.
Interesting.
I don't think we're going to see the rookie because I think you can win games if you can manage games. And if they have a winning record, you don't just throw a rookie in there. So, I mean, if they're losing, now you're going to throw that rookie in there, and I get it. But I think Tyrod's going to hold it down the whole season.
Interesting. Ed, what you got?
Everything but the sink at the rookie quarterback, especially with no off season. And, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
Chargers.
Okay. Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Because, they got this long-term quarterback in Indianapolis. His name is Phillip Rivers. They about to go all the way with him. They signed him to like a 7-year deal. Anyway, they signed him to a 1-year deal. What are your thoughts on this Indianapolis at Jacksonville matchup? We'll go with you first, Ed.
Playing against Jacksonville, that's the best thing in the world to have Wendy. I mean, get your confidence up. Let's roll. This is in it. Even with a 50-year-old quarterback, they're gonna win this.
What you got?
The first thing came to my mind about this matchup, of course, was Trevor Lawrence next year, the number one quarterback from Clemson. That's who the Jags are tanking for. So their campaign this year is go on a losing endeavor for Trevor.
So we're gonna get to this one. I should have put this in the number one segment because this team is segment one material. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Carolina Panthers.
He said segment one material.
So let's go into this one. So we got the Raiders. Sean picked the Raiders over the Carolina Panthers. What you got on this one, Earl?
I'm going with the Raiders in this game simply because, of course, new teams being put together. They take time to get put together. Bridgewater with his receivers. He does have the X factor back there with McCaffrey that's going to get the ball a lot. But I think all these teams can go to their tape and look at that guy's the offense, stop him, and we win the game. So I figure the Raiders were smart. I hope Gruden is smart enough to do that. Limit
8 more years left.
Limit McCaffrey because you're not going to stop him. But I like the Raiders in this.
What you got, Ed?
I'm right there with Earl. I'm going Las Vegas in this one. And simply because I haven't heard anything good about Carolina.
Nothing.
So, and that's why, my rule, I always go with the home team, but I couldn't even do it in this instance.
We're going to have to go out there for a road trip just because.
That would be awesome, man.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Weekend show,
yeah, that would be dope to do a show from there. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I got some contacts.
All right. Hope they ain't the ones we had last time, but yeah, okay, contact. I'm gonna keep riding that.
Oh, for sure. So let's go to Chicago at Detroit. If we had Benny Blue, he would definitely be riding for Detroit. Yeah. I think. Well, I'm not sure because I think he's like one of those long-suffering fans like me with the Raiders. But Chicago at Detroit, what do you got on this one, Ed?
Mitchell Trubisky.
Enough said.
And you know what the Bears are trying to do? It's like everybody knows your girl's a hoe.
Right? Oh.
You try to convince everybody, man, we go to church every weekend. You try to convince yourself.
Oh.
This is and we all know. And Trubisky is what we know he is. And they still trying to talk him themselves and taking that girl to the altar.
Wow.
Man, that's my partner right there.
That's
what you
good.
Got, girl?
That is good. It's only one question in this one is, can Matthew Stafford make it through a full season? That's it. I mean, if he can make it through a full season, he got off to a hell of a start last year, 19 touchdowns and only 5 picks, and he was rolling. And then, of course, he gets hurt and he's out for the year. Can he stay healthy? And can Nick Foles stay healthy? Because he's going to get in there because Trubisky's going to get sat down. Can Nick Foles stay healthy? Another injury-prone guy. So the question is going to be, can these guys stay healthy all season long? But in this particular matchup, I got to go with the Lions because their offense is way too explosive. And but you got to see also the Bears trying to get Khalil Mack back to form because he only had 8.5 sacks last year, so he's going to be hungry. So look out for that. But I like the Lions in this one though.
Well, I appreciate you, Earl, for throwing that softball up for me because that brings us to Philadelphia at Washington, and we wonder if the Philadelphia quarterback can stay healthy as well.
Perfect.
So I do appreciate that. So we got the Washington football team going to be inviting in the Philadelphia Eagles. So this is a team that Ed holds near and dear to his heart. With both of these teams, with Philadelphia and Washington, because he's just so near and dear. Every time I see him, he's talking about Philadelphia and Washington. So we're going to start with him first. What you got on this one, Ed?
Washington's so bad they don't even have a nickname right now. So,
that's cold.
Philly, better team, better roster. Washington, just not a good organization. And I'm talking about on and off the field. I feel bad for Ron Rivera because he took over this mess, but he's in for a long season. I go with Philly in this one. The I-95 rival, they'll take this one home.
Okay, what you got, Earl?
Yeah, we've seen Ron Rivera put that rookie in there and just hang with him the whole season. And that's what he's going to do with Haskins. He's going to throw that guy in there. He's not a rookie anymore. He's a second-year guy, but he's going to ride that kid. Even though no matter how bad he looks, he's going to ride with him because that's what the organization wants. So I don't think it's going to look any different if the kid doesn't look that, like he can read defenses yet to me. I've seen some things on tape that you go, okay, I don't think he's going to pick it up. He kind of reminds me of Jamarcus Russell a little bit.
Ooh,
but I think, with Ron Rivera's system, I think he should be able to at least progress and just get better and get better. They don't have any weapons for the kid to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
They only got one rookie receiver from last year who had a pretty good season. So who is he going to throw the ball to? That's what it's going to come down to. So the Eagles will win this one.
As long as he on that lean like my man Jamarcus Russell. But we do this every Thursday from 8 to 9.
Real quick, Jay.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give y'all a quick trivia real quick and tell me if you can answer some of these. Real quick, the Bears signed Ted Ginn as a receiver. How many teams has he played on, and can you name some of them?
I say 5 teams. I know he played for the Cardinals. He played for the Saints.
Yes.
And he played for Carolina?
Yes, twice.
Twice?
Really?
Yes, he left once for a year, came back and played 2 more years.
I'm saying 5. I can't name all 5, but I know a couple.
Okay, you say 5. What you say, Ed?
I say 5.
Okay, total 8.
Damn.
When you count Carolina twice, he's moved 8 times. He was drafted in Miami. He was in San Francisco, Carolina, Cardinals, Panthers again, Saints, Bears, and that's 8 teams, bro. I will
say this much though, ain't no shame because that's 8 different teams paying your check.
Exactly. And you're doing something right that all those teams want that particular thing from him everywhere he goes, speed. So
just can't catch. But anyway,
can Trubisky get it to him?
True indeed. So we do this every Thursday from 8 to 9. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. KSRNAZ.com. Again, that's KSRNAZ.com, Casual Sports Radio Network. On behalf of Casual I am Javon Adams, and that is Ed Easy Smith. And shout out to JB, Jeremy Bridges. We'll catch y'all next time.
Shout out to Sean out there. Good picks, man.
Shout out to Sean. Ayukin.
Peace.
I holla. That was right